Lord of the Flies is a classic novel that explores the darkness of human nature and the fragility of civilization. It was written by William Golding and published in 1954. The story follows a group of British schoolboys who get stranded on a deserted island after their plane is shot down. With no adults around, the boys attempt to establish order and governance. They elect Ralph as their leader. Ralph represents law, order, and civilization. However, another dominant boy named Jack seeks power and splits off from the main group to form his own tribe of savages. As the boys spend more time on the island devoid of societal rules and structure, their behavior deteriorates into primal savagery. They ignore the need for shelter, food, and rescue fires. They become obsessed with hunting pigs and making ritual sacrifices to appease a non-existent beast they irrationally fear. The conflict between Ralph and Jack represents the clash between civilization and savagery. Piggy, an intellectual and outcast, tries to be the voice of reason and democracy. He urges the boys to maintain their signal fire, which is their only chance at rescue. But he is ridiculed and eventually killed by the savage tribe. Simon is a mystical, Christ-like figure who realizes the true beast is within the boys themselves, but his insight tragically leads to his brutal murder by the crazed boys. As the story progresses, the boys shed their civilized selves and give in to violent, primitive instincts of power, bloodlust, and superstition. They descend into a kind of tribal chaos with no morality. The novel serves as a broader metaphor for the allure of anarchy within human society and the dangerous thin line separating civilization and barbarism. At its core, Lord of the Flies explores the darkness and capacity for evil within all humans when external rules and order are removed. It challenges ideas about human innocence and the inherent goodness of human nature. The book suggests that without laws, norms, and societies, humans would slip into violent chaos and exist in a constant tribal state of hunting, domination, and murder. The only hope is the civilizing instinct that Ralph and Simon awkwardly uphold amidst the frenzied release of primal urges. The book can be seen as a warning about the importance of morality and ethics to prevent societal collapse. It is a haunting and timeless tale that is compelling for its disturbing themes, vivid symbolism, and glimpses into the psyche of humans stripped of their conditioning. Though grim, it captures fundamental truths about human nature and the human struggle between order and chaos. Chapter 1: The Sound of the Shell. A group of boys survive a plane crash and find themselves stranded on a deserted island. Ralph finds a conch shell and uses it to gather the other boys. They elect Ralph as their leader, along with Jack as the leader of the choir boys who will hunt for food. The boys explore the island and find fruit to eat. The youngest boys are frightened, thinking there is a monster lurking. Chapter 2: Fire on the Mountain. The boys start a fire on the mountain as a signal for any passing ships. However, they let the fire burn out of control and it spreads across the island. Chapter 3: Huts on the Beach. Ralph tries to establish order and build huts for shelter, but Jack and the other boys just want to hunt. The rift between Ralph and Jack widens. Simon helps Ralph build the huts when the other boys abandon the project. Chapter 4: Painted Faces and Long Hair. Jack becomes obsessed with hunting and providing meat for the group. He paints his face as camouflage and has the other boys paint their faces too. The boys reenact the hunting through a ritualistic dance. Simon wanders off alone into the jungle. Chapter 5: Beast from Water. At a meeting, some of the younger boys claim they have seen a monster they call the Beast on the island. Ralph denies there is a beast, but many boys believe it exists. Simon suggests the real beast is within themselves. Chapter 6: Beast from Air. A dead parachutist lands on the island, which the boys mistake for the beast. The group fractures further as fear spreads. Simon sees that the beast is just a dead man, but he is unable to convey this to the others. Chapter 7: Shadows and Tall Trees. Ralph's group travels to the mountain, where they see the silhouetted figure of the parachutist and mistake him for the beast. Terrified, they run down the mountain and to the beach. Ralph secretly confronts Jack about his lack of leadership. Chapter 8. Gift for the Darkness. Jack forms his own tribe of savage hunters separate from Ralph's group. They kill a sow and mount its head as an offering to the beast. Simon climbs the mountain alone and has a vision that the beast is not real but a manifestation of the evil within the boys themselves. Chapter 9. A View to a Death. Simon emerges from the jungle during a violent storm. The other boys, in a wild ritual dance, mistake him for the beast and brutally kill him. The next morning, Piggy and Ralph find his mutilated body washed up on the beach. Chapter 10. The Shell and the Glasses. Ralph's group and Jack's hunters argue about who is to blame for Simon's death. Piggy tries to reason with Jack's savage group with the conch shell, but they refuse to listen. Jack's group attacks, steals the conch, and breaks Piggy's glasses. Chapter 11. Castle Rock. Ralph's and Jack's groups battle. The savages overrun Ralph's group and force them off the island refuge of Castle Rock. Piggy is killed when Roger pushes a boulder over the cliff onto him. Ralph manages to escape. Chapter 12. Cry of the Hunters. Jack's group tortures one of the little ones to try to make him reveal Ralph's hiding place. They start a forest fire to smoke Ralph out of his hiding spot, managing to trap him on the beach. Ralph narrowly escapes by running through the fire, then collapses in exhaustion on the beach, where a naval officer has landed from his ship. The officer is shocked at the boy's savage state. Ralph weeps for the loss of innocence on the island. Chapter 11. Castle Rock. Ralph and Piggy go to Castle Rock to try to reason with Jack and get Piggy's glasses back. Jack refuses and makes it clear he is now in charge of his own tribe. He acts threateningly towards Ralph. Roger pushes a boulder off the cliff, which strikes and kills Piggy. Ralph barely escapes after the rest of Jack's tribe attacks him. Chapter 12. Cry of the Hunters. Jack's tribe hunts Ralph across the island, trying to kill him. They start a forest fire to smoke him out. Ralph hides but eventually runs for his life to the beach, where he runs into a British naval officer who has come ashore after seeing the boys' fire. Ralph breaks down in tears over the death and destruction that has occurred on the island. The officer is sympathetic and rescues Ralph and the other boys. The novel ends with Ralph mourning the loss of innocence and darkness in humankind. In summary, the stranded boys descend from civilized order into savage chaos, unable to maintain the moral values of their home society without adult supervision. The beast they fear turns out to be themselves and the evil inherent in human nature.